Welcome to Spec Showdown, the show where we take two hotkeys and throw them in the ring. But only one comic will be walking out. Who will survive the Spec Showdown? Welcome to Switch Comics. My name is Marco. Today I am joined by Wahoo Comics. Yet again, he's been on the channel, I don't know, 2 or 3 times at this point. He's a good friend of mine and we've had some cool videos. Today we have a very unique idea, I think. I don't think anyone else has ever done it before. This series is going to be called Spec Showdown, where we're going to go back and forth talking about 2 different comics and comparing them, have similar kind of ideas, maybe price points, maybe not price points. It'll depend on each different set of comics, but we'll get into it and see which one is the better, more spec-worthy, more investment-worthy book between the two. And we have a few different sets to go through out here. So before we continue, Michael, do you have anything you want to add? Did I miss anything?
Yeah, I'm just really excited. This is going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to hearing what books you've got picked out for us, and I'm looking forward to showing you the ones I've picked out for you.
I guess one thing I did leave out is this is going to be a 2-part. I mean, hopefully we'll get to continue the series and do many episodes, but with this one, we're going to have this video out here on my channel and another video over on Wahoo Comics. So definitely, after watching this one, go check out that one, because we'll be doing the same thing with even more cool comic comparisons. So let's get started with our first round. Round 1. In the left corner, released in 2014, written by Jason Aaron, with art from Russell Dodderman, coming in with a raw value of $100 and a graded 9.8 value of $325. We have the 3rd cameo and first cover appearance of Jane Foster as Thor. Thor number 1. And in the right corner, released in 2013, written by Jason Aaron with art from Assad Ribic, coming in with a raw value of $180 and a graded 9.8 value of $500. We have the first appearance of both the Necro Sword and Gorr the God Butcher. Thor, God of Thunder number 2.
Oh man, great pick. I think I would put my money into the Thor number 1.
So are you a hero person?
No, I'm not a hero person, but I'm a long-term person. You know, and I guess, you know, we have to think, are we talking about like a quick flip or more of a long-term investment? So when I'm thinking long-term, I'm trying to think of which of these characters has the potential to be in the MCU for a longer time. And I think generally heroes tend to have longer arcs in the MCU than villains do. So I could see Gorr, even though I love that character, being a one and done, and then that book obviously peaks during the movie, but then comes down and stays down. Whereas if Jane Foster is still Thor at the end of the movie, which I think is 50-50 to happen, but I think that's more likely to happen, and her having a second movie than Gorr coming back for a second movie. So, oh man, it's tough, but I'm gonna pick Thor number 1 for the winner.
And that's a good. I like your explanation, because yes, it's true that God of Thunder has recently spiked due to his figure. Well, I mean, technically both of their figures got revealed, and so we know what their costumes look like. But there's been a bit of controversy surrounding Gorr, which has caused. It's funny. I feel like a lot of people haven't liked his design, yet it's still caused his suit to go up, which is an important thing to note, because the reason that Gorr's comic has gone up is simply because people are talking about him. No one's quite. I mean, yes, I'm sure some people are still talking about Jane Foster, but it's not the buzz of town, you know. So I feel like once we get that trailer, we get to see that Jane Foster Thor. I think a lot of people are going to start talking about it, and you will see definitely an increase in the price of her book. It will be very curious to see which one, during the movie at least, will end up being the pricier of books, because, I mean, I think it was about a week ago, these were both around the same price. So it was been interesting, because I made this list. I started working on this list anyway. I don't know, whenever we were talking a week ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. And then I was like, oh yeah, those books are priced right at each other. It'll be good. And then we go to make the video, and it's, of course, everything's always changing in the world of comics.
Yeah.
For me personally, I think I'll agree with you. Thor number 1 is, well, first of all, just a gorgeous cover. I mean, it's stunning. You know, I think it has that wow factor. It has that it factor of a book that you definitely want to display, like I have displayed here. Now, in all fairness, God of Thunder is right above it. It's off screen. I like that book. I think it's really cool, but it didn't make it to the showcase. So I think that says something about it as well.
Very cool, man. Great pick.
Round 2. In the left corner, released in 1973. Written by Marv Wolfman with art from Gene Colan and a cover from Gil Kane. With a high-grade raw value of $3,000 and a graded 8.5 value of $3,200. This is both the first appearance and cover of Blade. Tomb of Dracula 10! And in the right corner, released in 1972. Written by Gary Friedrich and Roy Thomas, with art from Mike Plough. The high-grade raw value of $3,000 and a graded 8.5 value of $6,250. We have the first appearance of Johnny Blaze, the Ghost Rider. Marvel Spotlight 5! Well, you hit me in a weakness, first of all, because you know I'm a Ghost Rider boy, alright? God, I really love my Ghost Rider, and it's funny because Tomb of Dracula 10 is a book that I would really like to get right now. I think it has a lot of potential. I think Blade is still far enough out that it really, you know, has a lot of room to grow. Obviously, I think the big time is when we start getting trailers and stuff like that, which is still a way out. I think Mahershala Ali is a phenomenal actor and is going to kill it. I think he's going to do insane. However, to flip it around a little bit, right now, don't get me wrong, Spotlight 5 will always be a strong book, has always been a strong book. But, I think... Hold on one second. My dog decided he wanted out of the room. Anyway, with Spotlight 5, it's just, I mean, it's growing just on rumors and desire alone. You know, as soon as we get concrete, you know, announcements of him popping up in a movie or getting his own movie or Legion of Monsters or whatever they're planning on doing, that book is going to go through the moon. That's why it's a book that I had to make sure that I got as soon as possible. Even though it's a low 2.0, I have my copy now. And I think, you know, Blade has already started to see growth because of all the announcements. But just wait. Just wait and see what happens with Ghost Rider.
Man, yeah. Oh, man, you might have changed my mind. Because... But I'll stick to my guns, and I am going to go with Tomb of Dracula number 10. And the reason being, we do know for sure Blade is coming, where Ghost Rider just has some speculation. And also, you know, like Ghost Rider just has had so much hype. It had that huge 9.8 sale about a year ago. And so I think it's already on people's radar screens, more so than the Tomb. So I wonder how much more it can grow, but you're right. You know, what if there is actual confirmation of Ghost Rider, or he shows up at Doctor Strange? So you might have made the better call here, but I do pick Tomb of Dracula number 10.
All right. We'll remember this. It'll be a mental note. Well, we also have video proof of it now.
Yeah, we should do like a year later, video follow-ups.
Could be a good choice, a good option, depending on what we got going on. If I don't know whatever's going on in the world of comics, if we're not busy talking about something else, we may go back and look at this, or we may forget that we made this.
We even did it.
Round 3. In the left corner, released in 1969, written by Stan Lee with art from Jack Kirby and Vince Colletta. With a raw value of $450 and a graded 9.0 value of $2,600. We have the first full and cover appearance of him, better known as Adam Warlock, Thor 165. And in the right corner, released in 1968, written by Roy Thomas with art from George Tuska, with a raw value of $500 and a graded 9.2 value of $2,600. We have the first appearance of the third Black Knight, Dane Whitman, Avengers 48. Alright, so we have the first full appearance of Adam Warlock, versus the first full appearance of Dane Whitman's Black Knight. You might be thinking, that's kind of an odd pairing, but my idea behind this one is it's two big characters that we've been teased with and we know will be returning. So there is hype, there is confirmation with both of these. Very similar pricing, nearly identical actually. And I just, which one are you more invested in moving forward into the MCU?
Man, you are bringing some bangers today. Well, I will tell you this. I didn't make this video, but in 2022, my top 5 books to get is an Avengers 48. I'm on the hunt for one of those at a good price. Part of that is a personal bias because I do love that character. But I think now is the time to buy because I believe Kit Harington, the actor, is signed to something like a 6-film contract. So we know that he's not going to be just in one more project, but he's going to be in several more projects. And does he end up being in a standalone film at some point? I think that it's a better chance that Black Knight ends up in a standalone film, or at least leading, a series like Moon Knight, than Warlock does. And so I definitely also want a Thor 165, but I don't see Warlock carrying a film as likely as Black Knight carrying a film or a TV show. I see him being one of a cast, and so for that reason, I'm going to go Avengers 48. What about you?
Well, a little bit of devil's advocate first. With Thor, it's kind of painful for me because I'm a Thor junkie. So it's like, oh, it'd be a cool Thor book to get. But so you don't think there's necessarily? Do you think after Guardians 3, because obviously he's going to be popping up in Guardians 3.
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to be a one and done? Do you think there's that opportunity? I mean, he is Adam Warlock, like
right. I don't think he's going to be a one and done, but I don't know if he'll carry like I see him being a character kind of like maybe like Drax, who is in several movies, but he's never like the guy, right? It's always Star-Lord is the guy, and so and in general, team-oriented characters like Star-Lord's first appearance isn't worth nearly as much as Blade's first appearance will be. Yeah. I don't think. I haven't checked the numbers, but I don't think.
Groot's first appearance, though.
Groot, yeah, that's true. You get this old, low number Silver Age, yeah. So I don't think Warlock will carry a franchise or carry a movie, though I do think there's a good chance there's a Guardians 4 or 5, and he's still an important character, just like Drax. Whereas I think Black Knight has a chance to actually be the guy, like to have either a Black Knight movie or to have like a Black Knight Disney Plus show. So I think he has more potential to carry a movie or a show than Warlock does.
I'm definitely a team Black Knight as well. It's a book that is also highly up on my want list. I want that, and I'm not a greedy man. A 5.0 would be plenty for me, I think that'd be fine. But I don't know what his future is going to look like. Obviously, we've seen very little of it so far. It's hard to say, will he be getting his own movie, his own show, like you said, with the teasers. He could maybe end up being a Marvel Knight or Midnight Sun, or who knows. But I do think an Avenger. He could, he's been on the Avengers many times. Obviously, he could just be an Avenger lineup at some point. But regardless, it's a character that I just find more interesting. I like someone that's, he's dark and twisted and has this internal struggle with himself, and it's more compelling to me. Round 4. In the left corner, released in 2005, written by Alan Heinberg with art from Jim Chung and John Dell, with a raw value of $300 and a graded 9.8 value of $700. We have the first appearance of Kate Bishop, Patriot, Wicked, Hulkling, and Iron Lad. Young Avengers 1! And in the right corner, released in 2014, written by Jason Latour with art from Robbie Rodriguez, with a raw value of $550 and a graded 9.8 value of $2,000. We have the first appearance of Spider-Gwen, Edge of Spider-Verse 2!
Alright, for our next one, I pick a battle of the young guns and a battle of team versus individual. Young Avengers #1, which contains the first appearance of many young characters, versus Edge of Spider-Verse #2, the first appearance of Spider-Gwen.
Well, it's interesting because I feel like the Young Avengers, they're playing very slow right now. Like, we know a Young Avengers team is coming up. And it might not be exactly the one we're used to seeing, but some sort of Young Avengers team is happening. But they're definitely taking their time. You know, we have the twins, maybe coming back in Doctor Strange. I don't know. Well, we had Kate Bishop doing her thing, so she's more or less the only one that's like fully set up and ready to go, I think, right?
Right. Yeah. You've got Bradley, as a character, but not super powered.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw Patriot. He was like, hello. And that was more or less all he did. Who else have we seen? We haven't seen Hulkling. We haven't seen... we know Ironheart's coming. She's going to be in Black Panther 2, but we haven't seen her yet. She hasn't done anything, and I assume, she's going to get her own show, so not too much is probably going to happen, I guess, in Black Panther with her. But regardless, that being said, I think there's a lot of growth ready for the Young Avengers. By the time when it finally all culminates into a Young Avengers movie, or if they're doing a show or whatever, however they're going to do it, I think, there's a lot of hype to still be built up. That being said, we are currently in the era of the spider right now. I don't know if you've noticed. Now, granted, I work at a shop where we deal with action figures, Funko Pops, and comics, and all kinds of stuff. So, Spider-Man and Spider-affiliated things have just been going up. His action figures, his Funko Pops, his comics, because obviously he had his hype from No Way Home, which is to be expected. It happens with every single movie. But it hasn't stopped. A lot of this stuff has actually become more valuable now than it was during the movie or a little bit after the movie, which is kind of unprecedented. It usually, like I said, you start seeing, even if it's a minor decline, you see some kind of decline. And there's a lot of things that have just been growing and growing and growing. And obviously there's a lot of hype for the next Spider-Verse movie and stuff like that. The potential possibility that Sony is like, we'll bring back, what was her name? I can't remember, from the Amazing Spider-Man movie. But bring her back as some kind of, Gwenum, or not Gwenum, Spider-Gwen or whatever, and I don't know what Sony's doing. I don't think Sony knows what Sony's doing, but there might be a movie with that, who knows. That being said, that's a tough one, because you could obviously buy a few Young Avengers #1 for the same price. I think you're going to have to hold on to that book for a while. At the same time, I don't know. I think if you were to invest in the Edge of Spider-Verse, it's going to get some slight increase over time. I don't know if the next Spider-Verse movie is going to give it a big jump at all, unless there's a big focus on her in the movie. But I don't think so, because it's probably going to be more towards Spider-Man 2099. But who knows? I don't know. That's a really difficult one. I'm having a hard time. For me, I instinctively want to go to Edge of Spider-Verse because it's a book I don't have that I really, really want to get. And I have not a great high-grade Young Avengers one, but I have one. And so Edge of Spider-Verse has been on my mind, like, digging into it for, I don't know, a month or so. It's like, you need to get this book, Marco. You need to get this book. I'm going to go with Edge of Spider-Verse. It's a tough call, but...
Yeah.
That's what
great pick, man. It is tough. And I might say something different on a different day. But maybe it's part of my jealousy. I don't have my own copy of Young Avengers 1 yet. And it is one that I definitely wanted. I saw these prices and saw, oh man, you can get a 9.8 at like 700, which is, it's on a dip right now. So I think I would pick Young Avengers. Also, kind of hedging your bets. Obviously we already have Kate Bishop, who is going to certainly have some future projects. These other characters, if you've got, if 1 out of 6 becomes huge, then it stays a huge book. And then even if they don't become huge, you just got so many more opportunities for it to be big. I'll go for that reason. And then also, I do trust Disney a little more than Sony at the moment.
Yeah, fair enough.
And so.
Well, that's going to conclude our Spec Showdown, the very first one. And again, the second one is already going to be up on Wahoo's channel. So go over there and check it out. I'd love to know what you all think about this video, because we put a lot of work into it, and a lot of our brain power went into this. And we had to write numbers down on a piece of paper for you. So I'd love to know what y'all think, if this was fun, if you have any suggestions or tweaks, or if everything made sense and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no, just let me know. If you hated it, you hated it. It is what it is. Again, I'd like to thank Michael for coming out and doing this video with me. Anything you want to say to the people of Switch Comics?
Yeah, man, really had a lot of fun. I'm curious who you guys would pick to win. Put that down in the comments. Of course, subscribe to Swish's channel if you haven't already. But had a lot of fun. Hopefully you'll come see the other 6 we're doing over on my channel. And yeah, look forward to the next one of these we do.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.